present with a worldwide presence. And Holger, we would love now to hear your views, the views of Amadeus concerning the new distribution models. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michel. Buenos dias. So my name is Holger Traubmann. I am the head of distribution within Amadeus, based in Madrid. So today we're going to have this conversation in English. So I hope that the translators will be able to translate all this industry jargon that we usually use. Right. So let me quickly touch upon what, on the one hand, is introduced now by Alex, and obviously what is the Amadeus status or view at the moment about NDC. I think one thing is clear. If you look at the video and the film that has been shown, I hope you can. Is the sound all right? Because I hear some echo. It's good. Yeah. So it's all right. Good. So basically, what we can see from the video, which is shown, that the world is changing, and I think there's no doubt that with all the technological advances that we're seeing today in the industry, that we need to incorporate these changes into distribution. Now, it says on the slide here that we have more educated consumers, and I was actually flabbergasted this morning when we had our interpreters talking to us, because them being consumers, they seem to know more about airline distribution than we know ourselves. They knew about XML standards, they knew about Facebook interfacing with airline websites, etc., etc. So obviously there's no doubt there's pressure in the industry because the consumers are asking for different ways of being approached. And I think from that perspective, Amadeus is clearly committed, Alex, and clearly out there to support the airline. Because what we know is that the airline industry, despite all the cost savings that have been made over the last decades, are still running a business on very low margins. So obviously, inherently, we as Amadeus have an interest that the airlines bring up the yield. And Amadeus is closely working together with the airlines on all fronts, on the airline IT side, but also on the distribution side, to see what we can do to show a much more attractive offer via the travel agencies or even direct. Now, what makes me a little bit obviously sad sometimes when I see in these slides, well, in the movie I saw GDS is running on pre-internet technology. I think it's need to say that we support about 70 airlines globally on their website. So we give them technology. We're the second largest internet company in the world, if you look at the number of transactions. So certainly you wouldn't be able to do that if you run on pre-internet technology. Right? I think that is very, very clear that Amadeus has been moving, and we are really investing in the areas of mobile channel, in the area of social media, and the area of advertising. Now, how does NDC fit in? Clearly, we as Amadeus, we like standards. So the fact that NDC is an initiative from IATA to say they're looking for standards, we really welcome and will help if things are being done right and we find the right level of cooperation. It will help to make this industry embracing what the airlines want to do. And obviously, on the other hand, will help the travel agents to support the increases of yield that the airlines are striving for. So, when we talk about NDC, we're very much engaged in the IATA working groups as Amadeus, where we discuss with the different industry players the new standard and how it could fit in. And obviously what we are pushing for as Amadeus, that the different parts of the global distribution world are actually actively engaged. Now I have to say that the feedback I've received from my team after the World Symposium of IATA in Dublin, we see very much an opening of the conversation. I very much support what Alex is saying, that basically IATA is reaching out to create a forum and a debate in order to allow different members of the industry to participate. There's a couple of things that we as Amadeus obviously still need to ensure, because on the one hand, if you push out personalized information, we still need to make sure that this personalized fare information is somehow coming together and made comparable. That is one of the things we still need to work out together with the airlines. Other parts is around the PNR ownership, so who owns the PNR data. That's something we still would like, obviously, to clarify going forward. And what we very much see is we see a couple of major airlines who are really driving this. So from the perspective of a GDS, what we are seeing is probably 10 to 15 carriers globally, and a couple were already mentioned out there, like American Airlines or Delta, who are engaging with individual technology companies such as Amadeus, but also other technology companies, to see how they can look at different ways of pushing their offer, maybe in a richer way, to the travel community. So this is already going on, so we see very much a conglomerate of individual activities, and sort of, and on the other hand, a so-called NDC debate. Now, in closing, the question is already, what is Amadeus doing to support what we are saying? So how is Amadeus already modernizing distribution? I mean, ancillary revenues have been mentioned as one of the major drivers of airline revenues over the last couple of years. I think 29 billion, right? That's dollars, that was the number. Now, if you talk about what Amadeus is actually pushing as ancillary revenue, or transacting as ancillary revenue through the travel agency channel, there's clearly something wrong. The amount of money which is being made around ancillaries in the travel agency distribution world is pitiful. Yeah, and I'm very, very critical of the fact that we together, the different players in the industry, have not been able to make money out of this, because we have lost a lot of money by putting technological solutions into place, by the way, also based on IATA recommendations, and we don't see a business model which is actually supporting the sales of ancillary revenues. So what we are also saying in this whole debate, and I think it's important, use as well what you have, and NDC should potentially also address the question, how do I then create such an attractive offer in the system that would actually then create the necessary demand? Yeah, because one of the things which is very clear, Amadeus is committed to support technological advances, but we're not the Red Cross, right? So we need to understand how airlines will create an attractive offer that people are going to then buy through different channels. And by the way, it will put additional demands and strains on this channel, because the more differentiate, the more it could impact the efficiencies that you have on the agency side, and we need to obviously ensure, as a travel distribution tool and system, we have to ensure that these efficiencies or these additional differentiation capabilities will not impact the efficiencies which are necessary at this point. So my call at this point is, yes, we're supporting this, yes, we understand as Amadeus that the industry is changing. Yeah, it's not only about electronic distribution anymore, it's about targeted selling, it's about new consumers, and we need to support the airlines and the travel trade to reach the end consumer in a way that he feels well treated. And very important, technology is not going to make you win, it's the business model. Thank you very much. And with that, I hand over back to